So today we're going to talk about Lesson 3, Function Operations and Composition of Functions. And before we begin, if you haven't yet had a chance to work on the group warm-up numbers 1 and 2, please stop the video at this point so that you have a chance to work on those problems, because we're going to go over the answers together momentarily. If you have gone through numbers 1 through 2, A and B included, we're going to check those answers and make sure that we're all set with the same answers before we move on to what we're going to talk about today. In number 1, they want us to perform the indicated operation, assuming that all variables are positive. So in this case, we have 28x divided by 4x to the 1/5 power. So the way I did this is I simply separated my constants and my variables out into two separate columns. So 28 over 4, I take my two constants from the top and bottom, numerator and denominator, times, and then I took the top number, which is x over x to the 1/5. And I used this to simplify. Well, 28 over 7, if I divide those numbers, gives me, or I'm sorry, 28 over 4 gives me 7. Just like we talked about in lessons 1 and 2, if you have the same base exponent, so in this case, this is the same thing as having x to the first power. Since I have a fraction down here, I want to rewrite this exponent as a power of 1 with a denominator of 5. So I do that by changing my invisible 1 to just 5 over 5. And then I can subtract my same base exponent. So 5 over 5 minus the 1/5 gives me x to the 4/5 power. And that's my answer for number 1. In number 2, I have f of x and g of x. And in letter A, they want us to find what the function is for f of x when x is equal to -6. So in this case, I just go f of -6 is equal to, I replace this function. Wherever I have an x, I plug in -6. -6 times 3 gives me -18 plus 5, which gives me f of -6 is equal to -13. In letter B, they're asking us to look at the function g of x when x is -4. So I'm going to look at g of x, and wherever I see x, I'm going to plug in -4 is equal to 2 times -4 squared minus 7. -4, I do my exponents first. -4 squared gives me 16. 2 times 16 minus 7. So g of -4 is equal to 2 times 16 is 32 minus 7. And 32 minus 7 gives me 25. And that's my final answer.